We do actually, earlier this year, the U.S. sovereign rating, which is AAA, was put on negative outlook because of the very significant rise in public debt in the U.S. and the gridlock that's taken place within Congress does not give us a lot of comfort about the U.S. Medium-term debt trajectory. You know, the way we approach ratings in the midst of this coronavirus crisis, we are seeing public debt ratios rise for virtually every sovereign that we rate globally. What we're really looking at, and fiscal stimulus is the appropriate macroeconomic response. So we understand that debt and deficits are rising as we speak. But what we're really looking at from a ratings perspective is the medium-term trajectory of public debt. And for sovereigns that have a track record of returning debt ratios to stable or declining paths after big stimulus and crises, we tend to give them more credit. And the U.S. has a mixed record in that regard. It did reduce its deficit after the global financial crisis, but then it widened again with tax cuts when the Trump administration came in and debt stayed very high. So that's why we have the negative outlook on the U.S.
And how big or how much alteration we can expect on Asia Pacific countries' sovereign ratings by 2021?
Yeah, so most of our sovereigns, we rate 21 sovereigns around the Asia Pacific region. Most of them are on stable outlooks, but we've put many of them on negative outlooks. So we still have 6 negative outlooks across the region, including Australia, Japan, Malaysia, all on negative outlook because of the rise in public debt and our concern about the medium-term trajectory. But where we're really seeing the most acute rating pressures and risk of default are in some of the lower income economies that we rate, where external financing pressures are very high, where refinancing risks and risks of default are high. Here I'm talking about economies like Laos, Maldives, and Sri Lanka. But most of the emerging market economies, including Indonesia, at BBB with a stable outlook, reflects a good policy framework and policy credibility. Indonesia's public debt ratio is low for its rating category, and given its track record, it gives us some confidence that the public debt ratio will stabilize in the next few years.